edition of the Sportsport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport here on a Monday, a post-Easter Monday.
That's right.
Tony is still full from the weekend.
I am.
But what's going on, sir?
Not much, dude. Excited to be here. Obviously, recapping the holiday. The Mets, the 4-game sweep, amazing. The RBC, also some Yankees talk as well. Some hockey playoffs,
3 out of 4, which should have been 4, but it's all right. 3 out of 4 works. It plays, right?
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, that's what, especially for a 4-game set. I mean, that's what you're striving for,
Yeah, exactly. So, Devin Williams, maybe out of the, bless you, De Niro circle of trust back in the day before, he went wacky, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. You are, he'll give you the note, here's the circle, and you're out here, man. Yes.
But yeah, we'll get into all of that. And it was just a great weekend, great day yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we were kind of talking about it before, but if you had to, any type of like food highlight, something that stood out that you could just go for right now if it was in front of you?
Honestly, right now, because it is breakfast time, cousin's house, Jersey, brunch, breakfast foods. And I don't even know who this started with. I don't know if my mother had started or if it was my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, now my cousin makes it, but it's this French toast that is made in like this thick, like a deep Pyrex dish.
Okay.
So it's really thick. It's really like airy and fluffy. It's like not like, you're just frying French toast on a pan. You bake it in the oven. Then on top is like pecans and like
pecans,
dude, and sugar.
Brown sugar.
Yeah, crystallized from the oven.
Man.
And you just like douse it in syrup, and it's just so like the butter, the bread almost like melts in your mouth. Honestly.
Wow,
it's ridiculous.
No, French toast has always been one of my favorite things.
Yeah, you would love it, dude.
Yeah, with the pecans and the sugar, that type of combination, forget about it.
Ridiculous, dude. How about you, dude? Any one thing from the holiday?
I think what I was just talking about with you before we went on, the Stu Leonard's filet mignon, the caramelized onions, the snowflake roll with the butter. It wasn't even toasted. It didn't need to be, Tony. It was still that good. So yeah, that was that kind of stood out for me. And then, like I said, the raviolis. I mean, everything was outstanding.
It's hard to pick one thing, dude. It really is.
Exactly. So that always stands out.
Could go for anything.
And
right
then
now.
you're always, I feel like the day after holiday, like you always find yourself like in conflict because you think about how good everything was.
Yeah.
You want more, but at the same time, like you feel like, all right, come on, like, get the Ezekiel bread, and the overnight oats out. But it's tough, and especially for you of all people, always coming back with the pounds and pounds of leftovers.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I mean, which probably gives you a good week, would you say? Or
yeah, it's a week.
It's
food for the week, dude. Yeah. So it is. It's a marathon.
So
dude.
You gotta get the run in.
For
to kind of counteract that.
Yeah,
otherwise,
exactly.
It's like, oh, what are we doing, right?
Yeah, well, it gives you more motivation to run.
Yeah, and then because what's after the run? What are you eating afterwards?
It's all worth it, dude.
That sandwich you were gonna have after sounds pretty good. By the way, those cookies, I tried one of those before the show. That was good. Nice to just have one. It's not a big deal. It's done. Yeah, but if you sat there like right here and just like we're picking,
literally,
then, 20, then it's kind of different.
Like me this weekend too, because when my dad puts the chocolate on, he like cuts the edges to make it perfectly rectangle. So there's like a bunch of scraps just like lying around, and he's like, "Oh, let me just have a little bit here, a little bit there." And then all of a sudden, it's all gone.
Yeah. It's tough. But nevertheless, great Easter weekend for sure. A lot to get into. And other than the return of Derek Ho's corner,
how about that?
What else we got?
My mother also in here says good morning. My mother does say that was her original recipe for the French toast.
The French toast. Oh, my God. Definitely want to try that. That sounds so good.
Oh, dude, it really is ridiculous. And then Josh B in the house, I'm sure having a great Easter weekend of his own. Says, what up, fam? And then Ernie says, F the scorekeeper. Yeah.
So Ernie referring to the Max Fried no hitter that wasn't yesterday. I mean, he did end up letting up a hit after that anyway. Right. So I guess it was a moot point. And at the end of the day, the win was the important thing. Not to say that we all weren't, rooting for Max Fried, who's just been nothing short of spectacular to start his Yankee tenure. So that is for sure. Also, too, the Knicks did win their playoff game on Saturday. Another one tonight.
Were you tuned in?
So it was on at Old Post.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw it a little bit. Yeah, they were down and then came back, ended up winning pretty good, by a pretty good margin. But it's interesting though, and I know I guess I just can't picture it because that's just not how I operate. But it seems like it's like one of those things where a lot of Knicks fans they're riled for the win. But yet, the whole lead up to the playoffs is like, oh, well, we're not going to go anywhere.
Right.
But it's like, I don't get how you could be both. Like, why wouldn't it just be, all right, let's just see what happens? Like, what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, it does seem like that. Not for nothing. I mean, if they don't go to the championship, to the finals, right? Isn't it kind of like a bust year anyway? I mean, they have to be competitive.
Why just call it? It's like calling it for the Dodgers right now. Like, I understand, you went 0-9 or whatever versus the top teams, but why not just get to that point and just see what happens? But to just call it right now, because before the playoffs started, that was the whole thing. We're not going to go anywhere.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, and it is. I mean, it is just one game. I guess it's not like
right. No, but I'm saying I think the common narrative was they would be the Pistons. But what I'm saying is,
yes.
It just seems like they're excited, but then they're looking ahead and kind of just like saying like it's over. Basically, is what I'm saying.
No, I guess it is kind of an odd combination of feelings, I suppose. But I mean,
I'm saying why not just take one game at a time, see what happens? And I just think with sports, with playoffs. Nothing is impossible.
I think that they are doing that, but they're saying that, there's no hope to not get their hopes too far up.
But I think that doesn't. But don't you think really though that doesn't exist? Once you're in the thick of it, you want to win. So
well, it doesn't exist. But you're not gonna like. If I was hardcore Knicks fans, I'm not gonna be sitting here being like, they're gonna be the Celtics. They're gonna win the champ. Like, I'm not gonna start saying that and then they don't. I'm gonna do the opposite. Right.
But the only thing I would say though, if there was a parallel, okay, with the Mets and they're in the playoffs, no matter who they're playing, isn't your thought process we're gonna win?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know why is it different for the Knicks? I know because it's not our team. I get it, but I'm saying I don't understand. If you're a big Knicks fan, why would you just like set it up like, you're going into nah?
No, I totally agree. And I mean, but again, like the parallels, like let's go to the championship series last year, like against the Dodgers. Like,
but going into that series, I mean, I'm sure you were thinking.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking World Series, but I'm also thinking like Dodgers are a complete powerhouse. Like this could be it. Like this is a miracle run. Like this could be the end. Like it does see on paper. That's what the narrative was going in. Like,
but if you had a choice, so back then you were saying you were going to do it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying I don't get like the whole like give up before.
Yeah, I guess so. I still I think it's just to keep like good.
But like I said, I feel like that doesn't exist though.
It doesn't exist. Yeah. No, it's superstitious.
Like we're all
nonsense.
Yeah, we're all wackos when it comes to the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So found that kind of interesting. We'll kind of touch that at the end. But I guess what I wanted to just do first before we get into the baseball, a lot of games to go over from the weekend. Justin Thomas, for the first time in nearly 3 years, a PGA Tour victor once again, taking out Andrew Novak on the first playoff hole, number 18 at Harbour Town, making a 21-foot birdie putt. And like I was telling you before the show, it was kind of nice Thursday, Friday, especially on the show Thursday and Friday, had the coverage up. And then didn't really watch Saturday and then just kind of forgot it was on. And then all of a sudden we're flipping through channels. The end's on. Got to see Thomas play 18, birdie. And then, Novak also, not birdie, but parred. Novak also parred. So they went to the playoff. And then Justin Thomas making that putt was unbelievable. He was elated.
Crazy
his
putt.
Wife and I believe it's his daughter. Were there watching. I mean,
beautiful
what a
family.
moment. Nance, a great call. I'm surprised Michael Buck is not talking about that.
He's honestly probably forgetting about Nance.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude. Like, so
thinking about the Lakers
Masters, whatever, dude. Oh.
But yeah, that was awesome to see. And I think it was kind of cool too, because usually you don't see this like where JT, he sets the course record on Thursday with a 61 and then kind of grinds it out the rest of the tournament, 69, 69, 68, birdieing 18th in the playoff hole. But usually, you would see a taper, and the fact that, in between, in the midst of the third round, he was actually down going into yesterday. And to have the resilience to battle back. And I think it was just so big. He had won 15 times. I think it was his first 5 years on tour, something like that, or 6 years on tour, whatever it was. And then to not win for the last couple of years and then get that job done, I think that's going to catapult him to more victories, almost similar to with Rory finally winning that major. And I feel like JT is one of those guys everyone kind of roots for, seems like a solid all-around guy.
He does.
And, it was nice to see him in the winner's circle in Harbor Town. Definitely a beautiful course. So that was pretty cool. Very good fan turnout. And
nice in Carolina.
Yeah. So congrats to JT. Andrew Novak, the runner-up, still looking for that first career PGA Tour win, but he has tournaments like this. He'll find himself at the podium before long, so he had to settle for the solo second. And then you had Daniel Berger, Brian Harmon, Mackenzie Hughes, Maverick McNeely, all tied for third at 14 under par. Tommy Fleetwood still looking for that elusive first career victory on the PGA Tour. Solo 7th, 13 under. Scotty got off to a great start, 7 under on Thursday, but only 5 under the rest of the way to tie for 8th with Heenley and Siwoo Kim. And then you also saw JT Poston and Sanjay Im tied 11 under. Sam Burns, Sepp Straka, Victor Hovland, Cam Davis, Patrick Cantley all at 10 under. And then Xander Schauffele also 9 under par, tied for 18th. But I think overall, was a really solid tournament. My winner and sleeper, unfortunately, Jordan Spieth tied for 18th at 9 under. And then Justin Rose, unable to follow up the magic from Augusta National, 5 under par, tied for 42nd. And you had Aubert, was it? Or no?
That's right.
Aubert tied for 54th. Do you remember who the sleeper was?
Who was my sweeper, dude? That's a good question. I don't remember, to be honest. It's funny because I was thinking Novak, but I don't think I picked him.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I have to like check the records, dude.
Yeah. We'll have to sort that out.
Oh, Ricky
Fowler. Okay, yeah. And he was he near the bottom? Or no, did he actually do okay?
Dude, I remember. I think his first round was all right, but then I think he fell off. Let's look at what he got here.
Rickle?
I mean, Ricky.
There 68th. 68th. Par, yeah. Struggling. Sponsors exemption.
Yeah, that's what I was going for, dude.
Yeah.
Shot in the dark. What are you gonna do?
So
you had
I had Spieth and
Rose.
Yeah. So I mean, Spieth, I guess, was solid.
Yeah.
But
it was tough, dude. Great field. Honestly.
Yeah, it was a great field.
And for Thomas to come out on top, it was impressive.
And I think a really good post-Masters tournament.
You
didn't have Rory there, but I think there was still a lot of excitement. And to go anytime you go to a playoff hole, that's always fun. And I think that is a great venue over there at Hilton Head. And I was actually watching the end with Sam's grandpa yesterday, and he was saying way back he was following around the Shark, Greg Norman.
Oh, no.
So that must have been something to go to that tournament and see him playing.
That's wild.
Norman in his prime.
The Shark.
So, kind of our lead up to the PGA coming up this week, that team event last year that Rory and wow. Let's get the breaking news out.
Breaking news right there. Why not? Here we go. Bang.
Ernesto Cabrera will be at the tailgate, also known as the TCA tailgate, June 12th.
The Mets.
Publicans. Interesting if he's going to be a Publicans. We'll have to see what he says. But he says tailgate. So, and I have to say, kudos to Ernie. But I think what I would say is, because obviously, he's very anti-Met. And I was going to say, if I could do it, Ernie, you could do it. So I would imagine Josh B had something to do with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, dude. Josh B's a very convincing man. For sure, dude.
Yeah.
And Ernie, likes Josh B, so I'm sure do a little favor here, a little favor there.
And I'm pledging to myself. I know you're gonna say I'll believe it when I see it, but there's gonna be no chance this time. No mention of the suite. Just gonna enjoy the day.
Oh, stop it. With you and Ernie there now, there definitely will be, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? But you know what? Now that you're with Ernie, you're on your own with Ernie. All right, I don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's it. I'm not like looking over my shoulder. I
know I can do it. But that's great. Really can't wait for that. That's less than 2 months away. So
that's gonna be so sick.
Amazing. Josh B with the salute.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be great. So what I was saying was, the lead into the PGA Championship. You're going to get the team event that Rory and Shane Lowry won last year, the Zurich Classic in New Orleans, the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson in McKinney, Texas, and then the Truist Championship, which is taking over, for the Wells Fargo, a one-off being played in Philadelphia. I think it's called the Cricket Club. And then the following week will be the PGA Championship from Quail Hollow. So 3 more tournaments till we get another major championship. And we'll take a look at the Zurich Classic of New Orleans, on Wednesday. But I have to say, I really am excited. I thought obviously we had an amazing Masters tournament, and I can't wait for the second major of the season. And I know it's such a long shot, but I would love for Spieth to at least just be have a puncher's chance. Maybe he's 4 back going on to Sunday, could shoot 65 or something. I really hope he makes it somewhat interesting to go back-to-back career Grand Slams after not having one for 25 years would be pretty cool.
You think you will, though?
No, obviously odds are against it, but I'm just saying it would be pretty cool. I think he could have a chance. I think he could be, like I said, needing the Tiger Rally 65.
And like you said, back-to-back career Grand Slams
would be unbelievable.
For these 2 majors, it would be crazy.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens, but we don't want to talk too much golf. We know Ernie has an issue with that.
Yeah, dude. He's already throwing some smoke out there.
What do you think he means by your cook? That he's going to be shouting stuff? And also, Ernie, probably, are you going to publicans or no?
Yeah. Confirm the publicans, dude. Because publicans, you may be a little bit more safe at publicans. You start screaming shit at City. I don't know, dude. It's but we'll see.
Dave.
But Dave, Soto.
I almost want to pretend that, you know what I mean? Just to kind of get him riled a little
bit.
Oh
my God.
No, Dave, honestly, just mess. I know that was ridiculous.
Right. Sure. Yeah, Oh, dude. Yeah, we'll see who will be cooked that day. All right, Ernie. Bring some sunscreen.
Oh, man, that's good. But, so let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game! Out of sight!
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes! See ya!
All right,
dude.
So, the Yankees had obviously won the opening game against Tampa on Thursday, had 3 more of that 4-game set at George Steinbrenner Field, and they end up doing what they set out to do, taking 3 out of 4. We'll start obviously on Friday. Carlos Rodon, arguably his best start maybe ever as a New York Yankee. And really what he needed it most, a day when offense was not aplenty. He gives them 6 shutout innings, only allows 2 hits. Now, he did walk 4, but struck out 9, Tony. This is what we had been waiting to see. I think it was his previous 3 starts had given up at least 4 runs. It was just kind of dominant from the start. And even when, runners did reach, he was able to navigate out of trouble. So, like I said, this is the guy that we signed to, at that time, to be the number 2 starter behind Garrett Cole. Obviously, now he's behind Max Fried with the Cole injury. So you hope that this gives him, the confidence and catapults him into that guy that, we need him to be. And also, I was impressed with the fact that he did finish the 6 innings because in the, the bottom of the 6 was struggling with sweat. The ump had to come out. He had to wipe himself down. Because it was 90-degree night there
Crazy.
in Tampa. And the fact that he was able to battle through that, I just thought, was great. And you never know. I mean, it's just like being out on the golf course. You have one great round, really gives you confidence that you could do it again. And you hope that this is the same case for Rodon, because it's evident, that we really need him. That's for sure. So that was amazing.
Do you think that he will kind of like come back to form a little bit? I mean, he didn't give any home runs here. That's been a little bit of a problem, right? Is that long ball?
So now the walks would be the next thing. Obviously, the 4 walks is too many, so you want to see that. But yeah, no long ball. And I think so. I mean, because going into this year, I said I think he can be the same guy that he was last year, which is we need that at the minimum, but full confidence that he could at least do that. He's going to have the good and the bad, but you're just hoping, for some overall, better general consistency. And you needed every bit of it, because this is a game that in totality, only 1 run was scored.
Wild.
And your bullpen has been absolute nails, other than Devin Williams. We'll get to that. But you had the combination of Mark Leiter Jr., Fernando Cruz, and Luke Weaver following Devin Williams. Pitched 3 shutout innings, coming in strike out 6, not walk anybody, and allow 1 hit. That's a dominant bullpen. And specifically in this, Mark Leiter, I think overall has been solid, but just the pure sense of dominance that we've seen this year out of Fernando Cruz and Luke Weaver has been absolutely unbelievable. And it was interesting, and it's like, who knows, hindsight's 2020. But the previous game, Devin Williams had a 6-pitch save, didn't pitch the day before. So it was interesting that they went to Weaver here. But I mean, the stats, and I think I said this to JD, I want to look it up, but he's actually had a historic start.
Weaver.
Yes, to the season. In terms of, let me actually pull this up.
Would you have put in Devin if you were managing?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're going by its
like
defined roles,
yeah.
6 pitches, he's a closer. Like, obviously, he's in the game, 1-0. But I think that kind of, maybe spoke some volumes. That's why it wasn't in there.
Yeah.
So this was the stat per Katie Sharp stats on X. First pitcher in Yankee history in his first 8 games of the season with no runs allowed, 2 or fewer hits, 35 batters faced.
That's wild.
So that's
breaking records.
Unbelievable. So I mean, he's just been absolute nails. Ever since he was named the closer, I'll never forget. He had that save, the 1-2-3 save after Holmes had been removed from the closer job in Wrigley last year. So he's been unbelievable. And then Fernando Cruz.
I remember that game actually.
Yeah,
I was watching that game. Yeah.
The game. I'll never forget it. Afternoon game Saturday, I think.
Final out was like a ground out, I think.
Yeah. Fernando Cruz, also the splitter's been great. He was lights out in this one as well. So the depth of this bullpen, and we keep talking about it, the fact that you're gonna get Jake Cousins back, and Jonathan Loaizaga. I mean, it just makes the bullpen so deep. So you needed every bit in a game where offense was tough to come by. The only run on a Trent Grisham single. And speaking of revelations, I mean, Trent Grisham, who would homer Saturday and Sunday, had the only RBI in this one. He's been unbelievable. And Paul Goldschmidt, the defense at first, the high batting average, 3 for 4 in this one, 3 of the 5 Yankee hits. So good to get that win. And then, we're on to Saturday. This was a 4-10 first pitch game, and it got off to such a great start. And it really, I mean, you did not expect to lose this one in any way, shape, or form. Because the offense is just early, often from the jump, and you needed it because Carlos Carrasco, once again, was not great. A line of 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout, 75 pitches, so only giving them 4 innings. But you score 2 runs in the first on a Goldschmidt double play with the bases loaded. But that made it 1-0, and then a Jazz single, 2-out single. You wanted to see that, so that made it 2-0. And then we mentioned Grisham had a homer in the top of the second. I mean, he just been unbelievable. A guy who hit under 200 last year. Seems like every game he plays, he homers. So Boone finding a way to get him in, and especially with the Rice injury, which happened in this game, he's probably going to get some more playing time right now. I don't know if it's an IL situation or he needs the swelling to go down. We'll see. So it was 3-0. going into the bottom of the third. But Carrasco gives a single to Diaz to make it 3-1. But Yankees were able to stretch the lead to 6-1 on a Judge single and a Wells sac fly. So you're leading a game 6-1 after 4. I mean, how do you lose a game like that? We'll get to it. But Carrasco gives up a couple more in the fourth to make it actually 6-4. Magnum and Vet singles. And that was actually the score till the 9th inning, 6-4. But Yankees able to tack on 2 more runs on a Judge single and a Goldschmidt infield single to make it 8-4 going to the 9th. And before that inning started, obviously it was 6-4. You had Williams warming up side by side with Yandry Gomez. 4-run lead. We mentioned how Williams didn't come for the save the previous game, but they decide to go with him in a non-save situation. You know, we always talk about the trouble of a closer in a non-save situation. So he comes in, and it just doesn't get started on the right foot. You think about his last outing, which only was 6 pitches. You know, you had Peraza make that great play. This one, you know, we did get a ground out to start, but then, you know, on a ground ball from Caballero to Oswaldo Cabrera, he botches the throw, and it allows Cabrera to go to second because the ball goes into the dugout. So runner on second, 1 out. Still, okay, it's a 4-run lead. You let 3 runs up, you're out of Dodge. 3 runs in an inning, have an ERA of 27, and you're out of it. But nope. He walks Ben Vet, who going into the series didn't have a hit all season. First and second, 1 out. Then you give up a double to Simpson, a ground rule double, first career hit. So that makes it 8-5. And then you have, unfortunately, an infield single to make it 8-6. You know, they go pinch runner Taylor Walls. He's still second. So that gives you second and third. And then Brandon Lau comes up, hits one in the gap, ties the game at 8. Yankees get a really nice looking double play to get out of that inning. But it's 8-8. So now you're going to extras, a 4-run lead blown. And I think it's just one of those things again. I mean, the changeup looks okay. It's getting hit. The fastball just isn't overpowering. And that's what concerns me as well. So, I mean, just a terrible inning there out of Devin Williams. I know some bad luck with the error, this and that. But you got to find a way to get out of that. That's for sure. So, you know, you go on to the 10th and you feel like you should be in a good spot because Anthony Volpe is on second. He gets a bad jump, though, on the Grisham single to lead off the 10th. So he's only able to go to third. But first and third, nobody out. And what happens? Cody Bellinger strikes out. Oswaldo Cabrera strikes out. And then you have J.C. Escarra, who's pinch hitting for Reyes, who came into the game because Ben Wright had got hit on the forearm. And he flies out to right. So you don't get the run in an extra. How many times an extra inning game, road team doesn't score, home team comes up, first batter. That's it. What do you know? They go to Yandry Gomez, who should have pitched the 9th, not the 10th. And first batter, Aranda, who actually had a collision earlier in the game. It was amazing that he stayed in, but tanks one to right center, walk-off home run, Rays lose 10-8. And it was really reminiscent of, you know, like a loss from last season, a Clay Holmes type of loss. There's just no way, you know, you lose that game. But it just, unfortunately, was just, you know, a really bad loss, and it really left you, you know, with a sour taste in your mouth going into yesterday. And Mark was tight. You know, I was watching the game at Colony with Mark and Corey, and I even said, dude, believe me, I'm like, I'm not going to feel good till the game is over on Sunday. And like, he's just saying that I like move on from loss too quick, but it's like, no.
Mark said that?
Yeah. I'm like, Mark, I don't move on. But it's like, listen, what are we going to send Williams to the, you know, it just, I don't know. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, he's got to like retire from baseball. Like now, like, it's like,
that's so funny.
You have to just like, that's the thing you need to get over is a win. And fortunately, you know, the Yankees, you know, did that in dominant fashion yesterday. And who else but Max Fried? The Yankees are 5-0 in games he started, 4-0 overall for Fried. Had a no-hitter, 7th, 8th inning, scoring error, or whatever. But it was a game where, you know, the Yankees, what do you know? Trent Grisham batting leadoff for the first time in his career as a Yankee. Leadoff home run, makes it 1-0. The Yankees really never looked back from there because Cody Bellinger, you know, also grounded into a fielder's choice in the third, made it 2-0. And then Cody Bellinger homers in the 6th. So he's really been going through it, getting under pitches. To see him go deep, I hope that that's a confidence booster. So that made it 3-0 in the 6th. Austin Wells, adds, a homer in the 9th to make it 4-0. Fried pitches into the 8th inning. So the final on Fried, 7 2/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, throws 102 pitches. They go to Fernando Cruz, who works around 3 walks. And it seems like it's a theme with Cruz. When you kind of stretch him into a second inning, I know he got 1 out in the 8th, but when he's throwing over 20 pitches, it seems like he loses a little bite. But he got a double play to end the game. So his second save of the season coming into this year, he had no career saves. So that was big on a day where the bullpen was taxed. He's the only guy that pitches. So you would imagine pretty much, everybody would be available for tonight's game in Cleveland. They'll start a 3-game set in Cleveland tonight before they go home, for the Toronto Blue Jays this weekend. So all in all, you went to Tampa. You did what you set out to do. Saturday was very disappointing. And I just want to ask a question about that. I thought too, this game, I like what I saw offensively. 9 hits, 2 for Volpe, who's really been going through it. Nice to see the Bellinger home run. Grisham, it's unbelievable what he's been able to do. Just all in all, same thing with Wells to get that home run. You hope that catapults him, and we hope that Ben Rice doesn't have to go on the injured list, but we'll see. What do we got from the comments? I said Kev.
The Kevin's
Josh B talking Kev.
Oh, dude, you like talking Kev. Ernie says he will go, as into Publicans. Have him all day, he says.
Ernie's
going to Publicans.
Let's go.
Have him all day.
Let's go. No, it's just one of those things. Of course, I always get the texts.
I said possibly riding with Josh here. He says send Devin down to the Thunder to learn how to pitch. F-boy, he says. What do you think about what to do with Devin? At this point, is it just make him be a setup guy, the 6th inning, 7th inning, whatever, and then it's just Weaver closing games right now? Because we said this before.
Yeah.
I feel like in terms of his leash, you said kind of one more big blow up, right?
Yeah, what? It's just I think the right baseball decision, for the team, not, like I said, not to give away games in the first full month of the season, would be to have him be the setup guy. But just knowing how Boone is, and just how Williams, I'm sure it's an egotistical thing.
Right.
He's the closer, doesn't want to lose confidence. He's going to give him another time.
Do you think that notion is valid at all?
No.
So you wouldn't give it another shot if you were managing?
No. It's just that was ridiculous. You know what I mean? But I know that they're going to. That's what I'm telling you.
They are going to?
Then if it, it happens next time out for a save, they lose the game, then that's it. But it shouldn't. Because the problem is, Luke Weaver, I gave you the statistics. What more, do you want him to do? He's just completely lights out every time. It's just that.
Right.
If he's giving us that, what are we asking? You know what I mean? Just because, going into the year, that was the vision. Well, stuff changes all the time, and you got to just go with what works. And you ask me, having Luke Weaver as a closer works. And honestly, I would like to have, Williams as the 7th inning guy, because I like what Cruz has done. You know what I mean? Really not have him late in the game, but I know they're going to give him one more opportunity.
Do you think at the end of this season, literally like August, September, let's say you're in the playoffs in October, are you seeing Williams coming out to close out games in the 9th, you think?
It all just depends how he pitches,
If, let's say, Weaver gets in there, they give Williams a break, and Weaver's just lights out.
I have a hard time thinking they're going to do it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But
it's why that the door's open for Weaver.
It is. And it's kind of crazy because it's just everybody else in the bullpen is really doing their job. But it's I would almost wish we could just get rid of Williams right now.
Yeah. Oh my
God. I know that sounds.
That is a little crazy.
It is, but think about all the quality relievers that we have in our bullpen. You know what I mean? And then the fact that Loizaga and Cousins, it's just why do we need to have one guy who is supposed to be, the best closer in baseball? I think some lists had him as that going into the season, but it's and then he's not doing his job, but everybody else is. It's it just feels like that's holding us back. So it's not a good start. I think his ERA is 9, if I'm not mistaken, Tony, right now. So I don't know. Like, what would you do?
I mean, we spoke about it. I've been a fan of Weaver, honestly, literally ever since that first game he closed against the Cubs. Right. It's actually so funny. I remember so specifically watching that 9th inning in a comic book store with Mike on Fairfield Avenue. Wow. Because the guy who owned the shop, Yankee fan, we were talking about, had the game on. We were we're just standing here, finish it out. And by the way, Devin Williams' ERA is a 9. So I've been, like I said, a fan of Luke Weaver since then. So I would say put Weaver in there and don't look back.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha. I mean, yeah. No, like I said, but don't you think, though, just knowing Boone, he says that he's close or whatever, that next save opportunity, more than likely, Devin Williams is coming out for the save. Like, even tonight, honestly, even though he threw a lot of pitches in the game on Saturday, I would say that they're not going to hesitate. They're going to put him in the 9th inning. But then, especially if it's just like the following outing, he blows it. I mean, I don't know how you could leave him out there after that.
No, yeah, I mean, I totally agree, especially like you said at this point. I mean, these games could end up meaning something. Yeah. Especially, I mean, not for nothing. I mean, listen, I know you're still happy 3 out of 4 against a divisional rival here, but you could have swept them, and it is a divisional rival. Right. So, I mean, these games matter.
Right. And I mean, you're one bad thing away from it being a split, and then that completely changes the whole tone of the weekend because of this. Because of, I mean, there was just no reason for it. So, this is the pros. I mean, there just isn't time to, mess around and have some guys struggle mightily. So, some people might find it ridiculous. I just think, this leash needs to be tight, and we need to see positive signs out of Devin Williams the next time he pitches, because it's just been too many times. Go to the game log, actually. Let's just see. I mean, what are we talking about? Go to the full, because is that everything?
I'll just go to the full. Game logs 2025.
Okay, so I mean, just looking at that, I mean, there's how many really strong outings are we pointing to? 1, 2, 3.
I guess 2, 3. I mean, they got one against the Giants there.
4 or 5. I mean, I guess half and half.
Yeah,
what it is.
I guess
that's not
50%.
Good enough if you're the closer.
No, not at all, dude.
So yeah, I just think just seeing the other guys come in and dominate, and then it's like that we're questioning who's supposed to be our best reliever. In crunch time, it's just not good. So, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Like I said, I expect him to get the next save opportunity, but if he does falter, I don't think he'll hesitate to make the switch there. So, we'll have to see how that plays out. But all in all, 14-8, first place in the AL East. I think that's all you could ask for the first 22 games of the season. You got some interesting series coming up, starting with this one in Cleveland. And you're going to get Clark Schmidt pitching tonight versus Gavin Williams. So that's a 6:10 start. Tomorrow, same time, Warren versus Tanner Bybee. And then Rodon, what's he going to do for the follow-up? That's a 1:10 game on Wednesday. And then you head home to Toronto for the weekend. Or head home to play Toronto for the weekend. And I guess Ernie is saying that he sent me whatever jersey.
A special jersey he's gonna wear to the tailgate, LMAO.
But I wonder, so it's not the Josh B special, Ernie?
I guess not, dude.
It's
probably something that's citing the Mets or something.
Strasburg.
Steven Strasburg?
Oh, they're playing the Nationals, aren't they?
Are they playing the Nationals in June?
I think they are, yeah.
All right, I guess that's kind of cool. I mean, I was a Strasburg fan.
But I'm surprised. I mean, he could get the Yankee Josh B TCA.
I mean, why doesn't he get National Soto jersey? One of that, dude. How about that?
No, I saw it, Ernie. That's vintage, though. It is vintage. I will give you that.
Strasburg was legit.
Yeah, for a little bit, and then he get the contract,
get injured.
Shame.
Had the World Series.
Got the World Series. But just
did he win any Cy Youngs?
I don't think so
either.
No, but just had so much potential, and it's just pitching is tough. All the strain it puts on the arm.
And that run for the Nationals that year was just ridiculous.
And then it was over like a blink of an eye, just like Anthony Rendon.
Literally all those guys, really. That team is.
And then more. I don't.
Nick's game tonight. I know your opinion, Barnes. I know, he says.
What do you think he means? Could you clarify there, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, does he just think that you're going to toss the Knicks to the side right now?
No, I don't know if he heard what I was saying before.
Must not. I guess. What did you say before? Did you say that they're not going to?
What did?
Sounds like someone we know, right? Got the money, kind of checked out, dudes. Kind of checked out. Just how Ernie kind of says, like, he's kind of checked out now. I mean, he had a good weekend at the plate, but you really can't compare him to Strasburg. That's kind of ridiculous.
No. But would you say that it was good, not great, the weekend for Soto? Or
I would say it was a great weekend.
Great.
If you think of the 3 games over the weekend, a little stat line for you: 6 hits, 5 ribbies, only struck out once.
Any homer?
No.
Okay. So that's really like kind of the missing.
I mean, that's been that's been all year long. It's been that big home run.
Over Knicks playoffs. Yes, Josh. Well, like I said too,
that's fair.
I'm confused at the mindset of the Knicks fan, because it's just like it seemed like everyone was excited that they won the other day, but I feel like the lead up to the playoffs has just been, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do anything. So it's just like I don't understand how you could have that mindset that like nothing is going to come of it, but yet be really excited for the first round series against the Pistons. Like it's like it seems like it should be one thing or the other.
I mean, if you were a Knicks fan, like put yourself in their shoes. I mean, how would you be feeling right now? Would you feel positive about the playoffs in general, or are you just literally just taking one game at a time?
I think anytime I have any team in the playoffs is a new season. So I'm never going to go into it thinking it's over. What are we doing? Maybe the Rangers, I would have said that, but I mean, think about the difference between the Rangers and the Knicks this year. I mean, the Knicks had the 3rd best record in the Eastern Conference, won 50 games. You know what I mean? It's like it was completely different than what the Rangers did. So I just think for the Knicks fans to sell their team down the river and just say they don't have a shot. I know I've asked Josh. He seems actually, which is surprised because, usually he's on the pessimistic side of things with his teams. But, yeah, I think he gives them more of a chance than other Knicks fans when we were talking about this the other day.
Ernie says, by the way, it must be the ballpark for Soto. He's not playing in a Little League park.
It's so funny, though. I feel like Ernie kind of like, ever since Ernie came along, he kind of like took over for me. I don't even need to say that much.
Yeah, no, he's definitely tight.
Because he really goes after Kev Dew. Like, really, he really gets into it.
Yeah, I mean, Ernie's one of those guys, can't handle it.
Can't
handle the Mets.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that he can't handle it.
I mean, it's definitely worse now.
What do you mean?
Like as opposed to like last season?
No, but it's not that he can't handle it. He just doesn't like the Mets.
Right.
But it's not handling anything.
I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't really handle it very well.
I don't know. I think if anybody hasn't handled it recently, it's been Kev Dew.
True. Still MIA.
Yeah.
He's working, dude.
No, but he did contribute to the Grip on Friday. John Kruk.
Oh, really? Oh, there we go. All right.
I didn't know he played for San Diego, John Kruk. But also, I was thinking about this after because it was San Diego, Philadelphia. I was kind of tripped up on. Nick Pivetta. I don't know why I didn't. Yeah. It probably would have been a low percentage because, he's just on the Padres, so you couldn't start to use it till the start of the season. But I guess you could say, Tony, I digress. But you did mention the Mets sweeping the weekend.
They did sweep the weekend, dude. They swept the Cardinals in a 4-game set. Do you know the last time that happened?
No.
1986.
Wow.
Do you know what happened in 1986?
Yeah, so let's see. How many years ago was that? 39, right?
Yeah, it's great, dude.
Yeah, the last time the Mets won.
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, again, I know you like
those Cardinals.
I know you like your parallels.
And also, that
Brian.
wasn't that was Keith on that team?
The Mets team.
Yes. There's a little revenge spot against his old team, the Cardinals, no?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess you could say that. I mean, Keith never really wanted to leave the Cardinals in the first place, I guess.
Really?
So, yeah. I mean,
he doing too many drugs and they wanted to get rid of him?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that the Mets just put together a good package and the Cards kind of couldn't really refuse.
Okay.
Because, again, you think of Keith, I guess I believe he was Rookie of the Year with the Cardinals. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't like he wasn't established. He was a good player coming over to the Mets. But in any case, dude, speaking of Keith, on the call this weekend, dude, and they had, like I said, swept the 4-game set. So the weekend in general was great. So the Friday game, we'll get to that first. I believe that was the Griffin Canning start, had the day off because he was ill. Comes back in. If I could just get my days right here. This is Kadai. This is Griffin Canning. Oh, maybe not. Am I wrong? Oh, no, I'm thinking of the Thursday game. Sorry, my apologies. Thursday was the Griffin Canning start. I missed the show on Friday. Got kind of mixed up. nonetheless, to move to Friday here, which was the Peterson start. This was actually pretty good, dude. Peterson, 5 1/3, 9 Ks though, no walks, but they have the 3 earned runs. Got into some trouble earlier on. The Mets find themselves down 2-0, but they do bounce back in the 5th. Beatty, who I believe had a leadoff single, ends up coming around the bags after Taylor triples to right field, makes it 2-1 right there. Very same inning, next batter, actually, Juan Soto ropes an RBI single to score Taylor. That ties the game up 2-2. That was a standing ovation. People were tight about that. Yankee fans calling ESPN radio, upset that the Mets fans had a standing ovation for an RBI single. Yeah. But again, hey, I mean, you heard Soto at the end of the weekend, excited to be playing for a fan base that is so supportive of him, which is great. You love to hear that, dude. In any case, Peterson does get in some trouble, gives up another RBI single to Arenado. Contreras scored, but that was his first and only hit, Contreras, of the series. He's been having a tough year.
Yeah. Well, it just seems
Cardinals,
like,
dude.
5 years ago, he's one of the best catchers in the league, but he can't play defense anymore. He's not even that good of a hitter.
He's not that good of a hitter,
got
dude,
fat
which
and
is
happy.
literally fat and happy. Is right. You can see it on him.
His brother is a lot better.
His brother, William, is great.
Yeah.
But in any case, Vientos hits his second home run of the season, back-to-back days,
games, but then,
back-to-back home runs.
But then the injury.
Saturday, left groin injury. Beatty comes in to play. Beatty ends up, I think, recording a hit on Sunday. Not to get too far ahead here, but also is playing some great defense.
And is Vientos going to be all right? Because I got him on a couple of fantasy teams.
Vientos?
Yeah.
I feel like groin injury lingering. He's on my fantasy team too. Like I'm not. I know he's listed as day-to-day still right now. Yeah,
the Mets have a game today?
Mets have a game today. They're playing the Phillies. No games off, and you and I are playing each other in fantasy this week.
Okay, and I saw you're number 1. Luckily, I rebounded and beat Riley pretty good after being behind heavy.
Riley's losing it, dude, over there, dude. Too many Red Sox on his squad. I think,
yeah, but Kev Dew said I had too many Yankees, but I don't know.
In any case, dude, Vientos, yes, nice, ties the game up at 3. Torrens follows up with an RBI double with Nimmo around to score. That makes it 4-3, just like that. And again, I mean, Peterson had an okay outing, gets into some trouble, did throw 99 pitches. So again, you have batters like Donovan, like Arenado, even like Nootbaar too, who's been batting pretty well, who maybe not necessarily are great hitters, but they do know how to work counts, get pitchers to, leave games earlier on because of a high pitch count. Arenado actually did seem to be a tough out all weekend, to be honest. But in any case, you get Max Kranick to come in, who's been absolutely lights out. Talk about a great bullpen piece. A 1.35 ERA here, pitches an inning and 2/3, no hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Okay, efficient as hell. Ryan Stanek, another guy who's been efficient out of the pen as well. He hasn't given up a run yet all season.
Yeah, it's been a revelation since the postseason.
Literally, like newfound look for him. And he's throwing 98. I mean, he's making people swing hard and miss hard as well. So he threw an inning, 1K, no hits, no walks, and then Brazoban comes in. He gives up his first run of the year, I believe it was. Donovan homers to right. That makes it 4-4. Brazoban settles down, gets out of the inning, but obviously damage was done. We go to the bottom of the 9th here. All right. And this is literally, I mean, especially for Lindor, I guess you can't really draw it up much. And I kind of saw this coming, especially because, you have Lindor at the plate, Soto on deck. And I mean, not for nothing, dude. But I guess maybe this is maybe this got ahead of each other right now. But Gelb was on the call. He got a little ahead of himself, talking about Soto, game-ending opportunity here. And I mean, Lindor just absolutely cracks this ball.
Yeah.
And everyone knew it. Drops his bat immediately, 400 feet, top deck. Ends the game in a walk-off, 5-4, his first walk-off this season. Obviously, to lead off the inning with that as well, bottom of the 9th. I mean, that was just absolutely tremendous right there. Yeah, that was great. By the way, I believe, if memory serves me, Zach was at that game.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it was absolutely electric. I'm sure we'll ask about him on Wednesday.
Oh, he's back. Wednesday.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's back Wednesday.
Okay.
Hell yeah, dude. And then of course Saturday game we move on. Kadai Senga threw well. I think could have, honestly, I probably would have had him finish out the 6th. But he goes 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 89 pitches,
.79 ERA.
He's been absolutely lights out for sure, which is great to see him. And honestly, I was getting a little worried because there was a couple innings he was out there. He was like really shaking his arm and like stretching his forearm and stuff, like taking some time. So I was getting a little worried, but that was like a 3rd inning. So he throws 2 2/3 more innings, gets the strikeouts, the fork ball. So much of his repertoire of that fork ball relies on the setup with the fastball, and the fastball was there, which was great. And of course, you see the shutout here. Bullpen does a great job. Garrett, Minter, Diaz as well to come in the 9th. That was freaking awesome. He gets 2 Ks. Going to his slider, still fastball around the same as Stanek, 97, 98 right now. But obviously the scoring around the board here, Acuna, again, gets on base. He's like an absolute lock to steal 2 bags, it seems. Yeah. I think he's 7 for 7 on the year so far with stealing, which is great. Obviously, you'd like to see him get on base more often. But nonetheless, dude, and again, the first to home seems to be a theme too. Soto single to center, Acuna first to home. That makes it 1-0. Alonso next batter up, doubles to center. Soto comes home, 2-0. And then it was Alonso with, I believe, his 6th of the season later on to make it 3-0. That was all your scoring for Saturday. And also, the Soto Alonso in the lineup is the top half, maybe you can argue top half is too much here. It's relying on the top half of the lineup. But the Lindor, Soto Alonso, I think is proven to be really, really effective here. Speaking of that, you do have a leadoff home run on Sunday from Lindor. So 2 dingers this weekend. Someone who's obviously been really heating up in terms of the long ball. That was his 3rd of the year. The Clay Holmes start that was, by the way. Another sac fly RBI in the bottom of the 30 by Soto. Again, situational hitting. You love that. In the 5th, it's Soto coming around the bags again because of Alonso RBI single. Mets go up 3-0 early, give Clay Holmes a nice cushy lead. And it was also nice to see Clay Holmes get past the 5th inning. I think for his first 3 starts, that was a little bit of a problem. Is that 5th inning you can kind of tell. I think the years of not being a starter kind of showed in terms of his longevity. Fatigue. Yeah, and fatigue for sure. And it was a little bit of a 5th inning leadoff walk, but settles down, dials it back, the change, the fastball, the sinker, obviously. So he's able to finish out that inning. His final line is 6 innings, 4 hits, only that 1 earned run, 2 walks, 6 Ks. So I think all in all, his starts have been getting progressively better, and the way he looks in these starts have been good. It just feels like he's in better shape now to go 6 innings. So you're hoping to get that from him. Danny Young comes in the 7th for a little bit of trouble here. He ends up giving up 2 earned runs, a double to clear the bags. Made it 3-3 just like that. But then Nimmo, a sweet RBI single to score Lindor. That makes it 4-3. Taylor follows it up in that inning, dude. You got a couple back-to-back doubles here from the Mets, Taylor and Soto to score 3 more runs. Makes it 7-3. Again, Stanek comes in, shaky, root bar the hit. He can hit well. The 1 earned run, don't worry about it. Dials it back, gets the strikeout, ends the game, 7-4.
There you go.
So great weekend, obviously. Like I said, first time since 86 that the Mets were able to sweep the Cards in a 4-game set here. And you really don't have any time for a break. You have even more of a challenge the next 3 days. You got the Phillies. So far, yeah. Absolutely, dude. And obviously, you are atop of the NL East. Phillies, though, have been hitting really well. Stott has been killing it. Bowman's been killing it. Schwarber has that long ball.
I haven't heard from... Is Harper doing well? Or?
I haven't really looked, to be honest. I don't have him on my fantasy team, so I haven't really been on top of him. But it doesn't really seem like it.
Castellanos only shows up when some world event happens.
Yeah.
Mr. Brenneman.
Mr. Brenneman, dude. Aaron Nola not off to a great start of the year. He's on my fantasy team, struggling a little bit. Wheeler, I think, has been solid, though, who you'll see in this series as well. Yes. I believe it is Nola pitching tonight against Tyler McGill, who's been a little bit of a godsend in terms of filling in for injured pitchers. But obviously, I mentioned Soto's line on the weekend. Alonso with a walk-off homer, two dingers this weekend. Alonso a homer as well.
Harper's doing okay.
Harper's doing all right. I mean, I kind of anticipated. Like, it's not
actually
bad.
I mean, Bohm is struggling, 193, but Schwarber has 7 homers. Harper has 5. Castellanos is hitting 300. And then Turner and Stout, 6 and 4 stolen bases respectively. So, I mean, they're a deep lineup. Yeah, no, for sure, dude. And they're a team that don't make many mistakes. Their starting rotation is good. Any mistakes your pitcher will make, their lineup will certainly make you pay for it, which is interesting to see what McGill can put out there. I think we have McGill tonight, and then Canning tomorrow, and then Peterson to end off the series. So again, hopefully your bats are hot. I mentioned Beatty getting the starts at third here. I think it was Saturday where we saw Beatty make a great throw to home for plate to plate to get a man out. And it was, I don't know if you remember this, but it was the exact same throw Vientos had to make to Sanger. Absolutely botched it. Beatty takes his time, throws it on the mark. Again, a little bit to the outside. Sanger's got to come around the slide to kind of tag, but he does it, and it's just cool, calm, collect. Don't worry about it. So I think, Beatty right now seems to be less of a liability at third base. Obviously, you want some of his bat to come around more so. It was nice with Vientos heating up. Does suck that his groin is now injured, left Saturday. So he's got to deal with that after homering back-to-back games. So, I mean, that would have been a nice bat to have come the Phillies, and we'll see. Like we said, he's day-to-day right now. Keep you guys updated. But like you said, I mean, big challenge these 3 days. I mean, you haven't had an off day, I don't think, in probably 8 days. Wow.
Because it was probably actually more than that if you think about it, because I don't think you had an off day in between A's and Twins.
Yeah, so it's a long.
So it's 3, 6, and then 4. You had 10 straight games. Now this will make it 13. So, I mean, it is definitely a long stretch. And then I believe you have a day off. So, I mean, hopefully, the tail end of this set, the Mets will keep it together. Bats remain hot on the top half of the lineup. Again, some good, support bats there. Winker's been struggling. Marte's been struggling. Could help that. Taylor's been having some good situational hitting. Nimmo, again, that single was huge to tie the game up this weekend. But other than that, hasn't been great. Like I said, Beatty hasn't gotten started. Sanger, again, a couple good situational hits. But, I mean, you still kind of wince a little bit at the bottom half of this lineup when they're up in a big spot, And,
I mean, any concern, too, I mean, you're going to need him because while the pitching may remain strong, I mean, this has almost been like a historic start for the pitching. Obviously, there's going to be some regression to the mean there, so you're going to need the offense to do even more.
Yeah, I mean, you would think at some point sooner, probably rather than later, that, McGill doesn't hold up.
Or Holmes gives up 7 over 2 innings.
Or again, Canning has been someone who's been pitching a little bit outside of his breaches a little bit as well. So it's how much will he hold? Your bullpen, how much are they going to hold up? These are guys here. Let's not forget. I mean, you have 2 pitchers out of your rotation that are injured.
Right.
You're missing 2, key cogs that you anticipated to have this season in your rotation. You don't have those guys.
How about shout out JD? He just commented. Tyler McGill has a record of 3-1 with an ERA of 2.51 and 34 strikeouts in 6 appearances versus the Phillies in his career. So I'm guessing some of that was out of the bullpen. But those are some good numbers. And kudos to JD for digging those up.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, that's exactly what you want, honestly, in a matchup like this. Again, I mean, I will stand on that. He's kind of on a little bit of a ledge, maybe teetering. But again, in terms of McGill stepping up this year, I think it's been pretty huge.
Yeah. So big series for the Mets. And while JD's here, and I'm sure, we'll talk about it on his show at some point, but just was curious what he thought about Williams. I was saying earlier that I would like to just see Weaver in the closer role right now. And if we need to change that later in the season, fine. But it's just seems like he really doesn't deserve to be the closer. And I think Boone will give him another chance, but I would love to just put him even in the 7th inning right now, let him work things out. But I was just kind of curious what JD thought about that. Could we, I guess, do you have the trusty notepad, Tony?
Yes, dude.
We got to update what? Or did you update?
I did update.
So where are we at?
I am 7-5. You are 8-4.
Wow. So I went 3-0.
You did go 3-0.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. All right. So that means, we have what? We have enough here to do another 3-pack MLB. I guess actually not 3-pack, but 6-pack.
6-pack, dude. 3 each, dude. You know the deal. You want me to go first since you
Yeah.
went first? Yeah, dude. All right, so let's check out this Monday here. I mean, I guess I'll go with the stats here with JD. You mentioned the stats that McGill has career-wise against the Phillies. You love to see, obviously, a sub-3 RA and however many appearances he has against the Phillies. And obviously, I mean, you think of the years McGill's been pitching, it's pretty much the same lineup that the Phillies have had out there. The Turners, the Bohms, obviously the Harpers as well. So you would imagine McGill takes care of business here. And, of course, Nola hasn't had a win yet this season, a 6.65 ERA. Again, I know it could be someone who I'm anticipating a pitcher at the end of the year to still be good and have good stats here. But I think for tonight, I'm going to say the bat's going to be pretty hot. I wouldn't imagine it, Lindor 2 for 4 tonight, maybe Alonso a dinger off Nola early, Soto keeping the hit streak going as well. I can see this getting a little bit ugly. You're looking at the Mets, by the way, are minus 125 at home, so the home favorites. Over under 7.5. I would say give the Mets winning this game. I'm going to say 5-2. So it's Mets and just the under there, Brian.
All right. So, we mentioned the Yankees starting a 3-game set in Cleveland, Progressive Field. Clark Schmidt, Gavin Williams, obviously Cleveland, the team that we're familiar with all of our battles in the postseason over the years. Obviously, last year's American League Championship Series. And I look at Clark Schmidt, and I liked what I saw, his first outing since, missing some time at the beginning of the year with that shoulder fatigue. And I think he's going to build on it. And I think he will pitch deeper into the game. I believe it was about 75 pitches he threw in his first outing. And I think, you're going to see him. Yeah, it was 5 2/3 and 73 pitches, giving up 3 runs against Kansas City. And I think he looked good. I think he looked better than those numbers suggest. Obviously 4.76 ERA, something to write home about. But I think tonight in Cleveland, he can give him 6 innings. And I think he'll settle for 2 earned, striking out 7. And I think we're going to see the bats, early, often, maybe some signs of things that come with Cody Bellinger and Austin Wells yesterday. You hope that carries over to today. And let's get Jazz going. I mean, it's really been a struggle for Jazz. Obviously, he's doing great things in the field and I think has 6 home runs, but has really been struggling with the contact. So I'm going to say Jazz goes 3 for 5, 2 home runs tonight. And I think we jump over Williams. He's a pitcher I know we can knock out of this game early. And I think at the end of the day, Yankees are going to win 7-4. Boone goes to Williams. I think he works around a leadoff walk to nail down his 5th save of the season. So the Yankees 7-4. So that'd be Yankees in the over.
Yankees and the over. I'll write you down. I'm gonna go over to Fenway Park today, dude, for game 2. I think, which I guess this game is starting at 11:10 a.m. Oh, this is the
Boston
Marathon game. I think Riley might be at this game actually.
Oh, there you go.
And just because of that, dude, I think the bats will be flying. 4th and final game the Red Sox here have against the White Sox.
And the White Sox have won 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
And
so
they won 2 out of 3 when they played earlier this season. This is the second time.
Regular season series is tied 3
Yeah.
apiece right now. So the White Sox have been giving the Red Sox some trouble. But again, you think of this 3-game set specifically. This is the final of the 4th. They could split, I suppose. But they won the first 2 games. The Red Sox, that is 10-3, 4-3, and 10, and just lost yesterday 8-4. So I mean, think about that. 2 out of the 3 games they've played have gone over. Red Sox, the marathon game. Bueller tightens it up. Trevor Story gets his 6th, maybe. Bregman has been batting pretty well. Maybe he gets his 5th. Obviously, stats are great at Fenway. So I'll hammer the Red Sox. I'll hammer the over here for my second game. Bang.
All right. I would say White Sox, by the way. Of anybody,
of course,
if anybody wanted to
no,
know.
Yeah, no one really had to guess. You know, I mean, like, no one need to say that.
All right, Tony.
Right, dude. You and Ernie.
A team that has not played well this year.
Really?
The controversy with Brian Snitker about running out of the box, Kelnick, Acuna, the bench, things, all of that. But Spencer Schwellenbach on the hill for Atlanta on one of my fantasy teams. Need him to pitch well. I think he will. I think the Cardinals are a mess. 1-9 away from Busch Stadium this year. So I think Strellenbach, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. I think Ozuna, Olsen, Riley, all going yard. I think this is a bloodbath. I think the Braves win 9-3. It's going to be the Braves in the over.
Braves and the over. What was the over set at? Sorry, 8.5?
I don't know, but I had it at 11, so it's got to be over, right?
Fair enough. Yeah, it would be
What's
over.
going to be 10.5? Even if it was, right?
Just
I mean, Coors Field maybe would be like an 11.5, maybe, but that would be it, right?
If that, I guess, right?
10.5.
10, yeah. So in any case here, my third and final game. Oh my gosh, dude. I know, kind of tough, dude. Do I go with the pick to help my fantasy team? I guess. Give me Gausman and the Blue Jays. Why not, dude? Kevin Gausman, but pitching well, dude. 2-1, 2.49 ERA, 25 and a third innings pitched, 20 Ks. Does give up the long ball a little bit too much. 4 home runs over those 25 innings. Obviously, Hunter Brown towing the slab for the Stros has been boasting some better numbers there. First time these two teams are playing each other. Kind of tough. Blue Jays dropping 2-3 against Seattle. Not good there. Giving up 16 runs in the last 2 games to Seattle. That's tough, dude. But I say Gausman shuts the door here on the Stros. He goes 7 scoreless, okay? Blue Jays come out here. They score 5 on their own. And then, I don't know, maybe the bullpen can give up a couple, but nonetheless, give me Blue Jays and the under here. They win this game. I'll say 4-2. 4-2.
All right. For my third and final, I'm going to go with the San Francisco Giants. A disappointing weekend, which they lost 2 out of 3 to the Angels, but still very solid overall. 14-8. Jung-Hoo Lee put on a clinic at Yankee Stadium earlier this year. Speaking of Yankee Stadium, the Brewers got shellacked to open the season 10, but I don't think they're a good team, and I think Robbie Ray will dominate them. I'm going to say he strikes out a dozen over 6 shutout innings, and I think the Brewers get shut out. Give me the Giants winning 4-0, so it's going to be the Giants in the under. And just like that, that is your 6-pack MLB picks.
Brought to you by Hirsch Law Firm.
Brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm. And I did see a couple more comments here. I believe JD saying he would hang with Williams for now.
Yeah, dude. Williams, slow starter. We need to give him more time, he says. And then Josh B supports that. Most players are this cooler weather. Completely agree. JD, if we get into early May, we are still here. There might be an issue. He says mid-May. But then also my thought would be like, to just have him be the setup guy then,
or
and warm
how
up,
my
right?
Would
No,
be, and I don't mean to be this guy because not to give Josh B a hard time, but Josh, I mean, this game, the last game he pitched, I mean, it was 90 degrees in Tampa, so I don't know how much warmer it could be for Devin Williams. But I get the point. I mean, obviously, there's been some colder games, but we are gridding, so let's get the grid out.
Or the immaculate grid here.
But also, I still don't see. Yeah, also with that
dude.
too, I don't see the harm. I mean, I guess it's just the only thing I can think of is just that it would be a concern that it's going to mess with Williams's like mental state. But it's just like, I don't know. Like,
what the fuck, dude?
No,
like,
right
grow up.
though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what else would be the reason?
There is none. There is none.
So that's just what I think. But who knows?
We got a little Mets column here, dude.
Yeah. And then the Mets and the Cubs as well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we could do
Steve Traxel.
Alou for any one of these.
Steve Traxel, though. Mets Cubs.
For Mets Cubs, you want to do Steve Traxel?
Was Moises Alou on the Mets?
Yeah.
Was it like only a couple
1
years?
year, maybe 2?
Oh, okay, gotcha. But yeah, go Traxel.
All right, we'll do Traxel. 3%.
For some reason, I thought I was going to say like 30. I don't know why.
We can do Carter for Giants, Mets. Gary Carter.
You're big on the Carter train right now.
Catcher. I mean, that's what I put. You know, Gary Carter, Mike Piazza.
We could be doing weekend grids or something.
I did try doing them this weekend. Actually, I think I did just one though.
Oh, okay.
I think I just did the one. Probably yesterday, I guess. Gary Carter. Bang.
2%. There we
bad.
go. Giants, Reds. Is it Reggie Sanders? I want to say yes, right?
I want to say yes as well. Oh.
Got
4%. Not bad. I got nervous as well. I'm trying to think. Mets, Stros. You can do Verlander. You can do Beltran. Reen Stanek?
Yeah.
All right. Ryan Stanek.
Is it Ryan or Reen?
It is Ryan.
It's not Ryan. It's Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan Stanek, dude.
1%.
All right, dude.
See, the steals, I feel like in this are going to be a little tough, right?
Yeah, the steals are definitely going to be tough. Let's see if anyone said anything. Kearney?
Giants, Mets,
Kevin Mitchell.
But the Reds and the Giants with the 30 steals.
Reds, Cubs. Giants, 30 steals.
Reds, Cubs.
Who the hell had 30 steals in the Giants? I mean,
was Ryan Dempster on the Reds?
I don't know. Did Baez have 30 steals? You think when he was on the Cubs?
He doesn't seem like he.
Swanson? No.
Juan Pierre? I know he was terrible with the Cubs, but you would think he would have stole 30.
You would think.
Maybe Ernie could let us know about that.
Yeah, this is tough. Beyond the Mets column here.
Swing and a miss. The Astros. Boy,
who's been stealing bags for them recently?
I'm sure Altuve did it once, but like, I don't know if Beltran did when he was there. He didn't play a full season.
I don't think so.
Not. Dude. The Cincinnati, but I feel like there's got to be so many. Hold on, Cincinnati Cubs. What are we doing here? There's got to be like a million. Division. No, I'm thinking division rivals.
Division
right?
rival.
Moises didn't play for the Reds.
No. Play for the Cubs.
Adam
Kent.
Dunn didn't play for the Cubs. I mean, this is almost like a call Ernie situation.
No. Cubs
30 steals.
Soriano.
Did he still? Because I thought he did the 40-40 for the Nationals. Reds, Stros, Aaron Boone. There we go. Do it.
Oh, that's so lame.
Barry Bonds, 30 plus steals. That's a good one.
Aaron Boone.
Let's see. Bonds for the Giants, right? Steals?
For steals, that's going to be $1 million, isn't it, though?
Is it?
Barry Bonds?
Yeah. 38%. I guess not $1 million, but close. And I guess we try Soriano, right? I mean.
At this point, dude.
But
Cubs steal Soriano.
I mean, I guess because he went there right after that national season. You would think he would have stolen 30 bags.
Let's do it.
But it could be a swing.
Well, what do you think?
I mean, what else are we doing? Yep, I know it.
It was a swing, dude.
Steve Juan Pierre. I'm just curious. It's tough. And then I guess it doesn't even matter. I guess should we do the grid that you didn't do over the weekend? It was a tough one. The steals are bullshit. Ryan Sandberg, Jose Altuve, 43%. Come on.
Chapman.
What grid did you do? Saturday or Sunday?
I'd have to look at it to see. Let's see. Previous grids here. Play now. Oh, all right. I didn't do this one.
I like this one.
This
is just teams.
Just teams,
I think we should be able
dude.
to do this.
Yeah, I think so, dude. No one's chirping. Yeah, first of all, Ernie, by the way, are we gridding and then you fucking leave?
Yeah.
You're banding us, dude.
Okay. So
Seattle.
Tommy didn't. Oh, I get. Tommy didn't play on the Orioles, right?
I don't. Now that I think about it, seeing him in like an orange uniform seems kind of right.
Seems right, but I don't know.
Did Jeremy play for the Orioles?
I don't know. I mean, I know like Tejada and Machado, but do we do that?
Yeah.
You think it's going to be high Machado, or everybody kind of forgets about the Dodgers? Maybe not. I guess just get us on the board, right? Top middle.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Top middle.
Yeah.
On the board.
It's kind of funny. But I guess, and then do Tejada for A's Orioles. Get on the board.
Miguel, right?
Yeah. Get on the board.
Ruben.
Should we see how high we could go?
I mean, at this point,
tough one. Tough sledding today. Jeez.
Damn, dude. The Monday bag. Yeah. All right,
too little,
dude.
too late.
Yeah,
We're gonna get like 140 here.
Yeah, just like Devin Williams.
Let's see. So the Dodgers and the you think everybody will have Pujols for the Dodgers Cardinals? They might forget about Pujols on the Cardinals, right? I mean, at this point, like, right? I mean, no, we're gonna get 200.
No, yeah. There's no way they're gonna forget about Pujols, right? I mean,
on the Dodgers, though. No, but let's see how high we can get.
Yes.
A's Cards. Let's see here. McGuire would probably be pretty high, right?
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. Mark McGuire.
33. So we're all 30.
We're in the 30s, dude.
This will set a record. Wellington, Castillo, Orioles, Mariners, and Mary. Tony misses you dearly as well.
I do miss my mother already. Orioles, Mariners. Wellington. 0.1, dude. Really killing our game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The
Seattle, St. Louis.
A's Brewers is kind of a weird combo.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers with the Brewers.
Wasn't Tellez on the A's? Rowdy Tellez?
I mean, at this point, who cares, right? Let's try it.
Oh, you really phoned it in, huh? Like the Knicks fans?
I'm just saying. Yeah. How high?
How high, dude? I mean, I don't care. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure that I don't want to like.
No, just do it.
And then that's it. It's over.
Yeah, probably.
All right, it's over, dude.
At least it's over, right?
It's over, dude. Here, just give up.
I think
just give up, dude.
No, I think we should just do one random one. We can't not have a grid, dude. You know what I mean? And it's like how much NBA, NHL playoffs are really going to talk to? Like this is the priority.
I mean, those NHL playoffs, dude.
Yeah,
come on, man. You got to get back on the train. Michael Buckta, dude.
Michael Buckta. No, well, Michael Buckta would say, Doc's not doing it.
Doc's not doing it, dude. All right, it's this one from the 13th here. I think we may be getting kind of only one team, Cincinnati. Why did you do this already?
No, I guess I didn't, honestly. All right.
This is tough.
Yeah, so
we can do a different one if you want.
Kansas City.
Cranky?
Oh, well, Kansas City Padres, Miguel Tejada. Okay.
Getting Tejada in there twice today, dude.
Yeah.
There we go.
Only one team for the Padres. I mean, there's so many different ways to go here. I mean, I guess besides Merrill. Oh, do Roberto Suarez.
Oh, yeah?
Or just do Suarez and see what happens.
Oh, it's just Robert.
Yeah. There we go.
2%.
All right. And then let's see. So only one team, Pete Crow Armstrong. He didn't play for the Mets, right? Like in the majors.
No, I don't think so.
Or who's that third?
I'm trying to
Shaw. Matt Shaw.
Matt Shaw?
Yeah, do Matt Shaw for Cubs.
Sorry, 4%.
And I'm trying to think like for the Reds, do Hunter Green. Okay.
All right.
And then let's see here. Second base. Do Tyler Wade for the Padres.
That's a good one. I like Tyler Wade.
Yeah.
Speed.
And didn't Tony Womack play for the Reds?
Tony Womack did.
Second base, Reds. Whoa. .1. There we go. And then
Tony.
Hosmer,
Royals, Cubs. Reese Hosmer?
No, Eric
Hosmer.
6, okay. And then the second baseman for the Cubs. You could do Nico Horner. %. And then Kansas City, do Aroldis.
Aroldis Chapman?
Yeah. 50. I mean, right? I mean, it's fine.
I mean, that's something, dude.
Yeah, just to get off our feet. Kind of weird grids today.
Yeah, dude. Chapman was the highest there, but everything else was great.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, dude.
But I would say
Joe Morgan, second base, Cincinnati. That's a good one.
You know, let's take a trip to the world of the National Hockey League.
Speed, here he comes. McDavid shoots, top shelf, he scores! Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle, great hit, Cameron. It's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping, rink wide, made the full split save.
Are you kidding me? Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pastrnak,
The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right, so I guess, you know, there were some playoff games like we could mention for a second. But, you know, the big official news, Laviolette out. I mean, obviously we knew that. And it's like, here we go again. Was this the third consecutive coach to be fired after the second season? Gallant was,
and then I guess
or Gallant. Is it Gallant?
No, I forget,
Gallant.
dude. I think it is Gallant.
We were saying Gallant. Yeah.
But even everyone said Gallant, and then he says, yeah, no, it's Gallant, but I don't really care.
No, you know what's funny, though? It's not funny because obviously of what happened, but I feel like both of these guys, Gallant, Laviolette, there was a certain point where I was saying kind of early on, like, they're done. And it was like, remember, you're like, dude. And then we ended up getting there.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, listen, I mean, you got to throw some blame on, you know, not just the coach. I mean, it's the players at the end of the day. I mean, obviously Chris Drury, we know, mishandled a lot of players this year. Going in honestly from the offseason, you know, people weren't really enjoying that. And I think a lot of fans, Rangers fans, that is, expected not only Laviolette to get fired, but Chris Drury as well. But it does seem like that Drury's gonna get another stab at this. Right. You mentioned the last three coaches all went through Drury. This is Drury's fourth year as GM, I believe, and he's been through three coaches. So, I mean, you know, his track record right now isn't good. Be better at picking coaches.
And he's definitely safe.
I mean, it seems like it, right? He would have been fired already,
right,
no?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it does seem like that Drury's going to be, you know, going forward with this and going to be able to try and pick up the pieces that he pulled apart, you know, this year. So I don't know, dude. I mean, obviously, we did see this move coming for Laviolette. I feel bad for Peter, to be honest. We've been talking a lot about his history as a coach. Obviously, being able to win a cup, taking three different teams to the cup final. Is not an easy feat. I'd be curious to see how many coaches have done that in the past, to be honest. And just the way that, you know, this team just kind of gave up on the year. Yeah, you can say, you know, the Drury mistreating players, trading them away, not really handling their contracts or them professionally very well. But on the other hand, you could say, oh, all right, well, like what the hell kind of team is this if their locker room is going to be in shambles because of, you know, little hiccups like this that are, you know, not for nothing, like it happens. Like people get traded, You know, like people you don't want to see leave your team, leave your team because they were traded. Okay,
like, are we even talking about hockey players? Like, I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Like very sad and like embarrassing.
It is. It is really sad and embarrassing. And I mean, you want to pick up the pieces a lot. You want to see, you know, a lot of people are calling for some massive moves. You know, like not expecting to see Kreider back. Trying to move other bigger contracts, which are going to be tough. You know, a lot of your money is tied up in long-term contracts right now. You think of Trocheck, you think of Mika, you think of Panarin even too. These are guys who
you think of Fox.
I guess you think of Adam Fox. I mean, I don't think you'd be really moving Adam Fox.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be dependent on what you're getting back.
Yeah. And you don't have a tremendous pool of talent to be picking from. Okay, you have Berard. All right, you have what's his name?
Perrault.
Gabe Perrault. I didn't realize this table was unlocked, by the way. I almost fucking thought I was going down. So I don't know. You got a couple good prospects. You know, Rempe has had a better season, but you don't really have, you know, the kitchen sink you can be throwing at, you know, certain players to be brought into your roster. So, you know, you're not in the most advantageous position right now to rebuild, because obviously the past 3 years you were rebuilding. So a lot of it was, you know, get players to win right now, win the President's Trophy, get to the playoffs, be better, win right now. And obviously you're so far from that point that, you know, a lot of people who are calling for the rebuild, it's not going to be something that's easily, you know, you can't navigate this thing easily.
Well, I think that's why that everybody should be on the table. Like, I know you mentioned like you're not necessarily looking to trade Fox, but you might have to. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like if we lose him, but we're getting somebody like really good in, and like we're not gonna be thinking like, oh geez, like we really need Adam Fox. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he is expendable. Like, obviously if we don't have to trade him, sure.
Right.
But I just think anything should be on the table is what I'm getting at.
I listen, you can say that. I get it. But I mean, like, you're not gonna be able to move his contract. Like, how are you gonna move his contract?
I think he's a desirable asset.
He is, yeah, but that contract for other teams, I mean, that's, you know.
But I think he's backed it up. I mean,
yes, he has backed it up. But for him to fit on another team, for a team to take on that contract, to have that money, and I'm not sure what his contract says in terms of no trade clauses. I have to look into that. I mean, that's something that obviously is very apparent around the NHL. So, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, obviously,
he doesn't have no movement. He's just
there's no trade clause or anything.
$9.5 million the next 4 years, and he's 27.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think teams would, you know, I mean, maybe this year was a little down, but I mean, every year, I mean, he's doing a lot of assists.
Yeah, no, he does. He shows up a lot. I mean, obviously, he contributes offensively. He plays good defense. You know, he's a guy you expected to be a career Ranger for sure. But like I said, I mean, we'll see what contracts could be moved. I mean, I would bet on seeing Mika. I would bet on seeing Panarin probably too.
Seeing them traded?
No, on the Rangers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, Mika had the no movement. Panarin, I wouldn't necessarily bet on just because.
What does he have? Like four?
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like teams would be looking to add him to the mix, especially because, you know, he wouldn't come into any new situation. So he only has 2 years left.
Oh, I guess so.
Or 1 year left. Is it 1 year?
7 years from 2019, so he has
1 year left.
Well, yeah. He has this season, then he's an unrestricted free agent.
And it's only $8 million.
That's not bad.
That should be traded. Like, that should be traded yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely should be.
I think you do it too. You know, I mean, I think you just need as many new faces in here as possible, and I think he was part of the problem. You know, especially after who knows what happened.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know.
But I'm just saying, it's just like he's not. Like,
that fucking sucks for trade value, doesn't it? Though.
Yeah, it does. So it's just not a great situation. But I just think turn over as many players as you can. They quit on themselves and they embarrassed the whole organization this year. And that's just something that's just not acceptable.
Yeah, dude, nothing is acceptable that they've done this year.
You know, so we'll have to wait with bated breath, Tony, to see, you know, what they do.
Bated breath.
And I have to say, you know, I was mentioning to you because of the bitter end for the Rangers. For me, not a lot of juice for the playoffs right now. And so far, I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I know there's barely been any games. Like, we just got underway Saturday, but no upsets. I mean, everything you expected to see. The Jets 5-3 over the Blues, Avalanche 5-1 over the Stars. But you want the Stars, I thought, right? Or no?
No, Avs, I said.
No, but I thought you want the Stars. I feel like you've always liked Dallas. No?
Oh, yeah, I have. But again, I mean, the last year they kind of screwed me over by not showing up in the playoffs. So
Gotcha.
Let's go Avs.
Hurricanes, didn't expect them to struggle with the Devils 4-1. The Leafs, sure, there was maybe a question there, but they're so much better than the Senators. So 6-2. And then the Knights, 4-2 over the Wild. So there was no surprise there. Did you see any of these games?
Yes, dude. I watched the Jets Blues game almost in its entirety. Same thing for the Stars Avalanche game. Jets came back in a big way, third period, dude. Blues just could not handle it.
Yeah.
I think just Jets, took a couple periods to get their shit together. Jordan Kyrou, I think was definitely a star to look at for St. Louis. His speed is ridiculous. He's I believe has the fastest lap in the NHL.
Wow.
I think that just took the Jets a little bit some time to get going. Third period, they did. And then they scored 2 goals or 3 goals in the last 5 minutes in the third period. So obviously a team hard to put away. Hellebuck was gelling as well. And then, kind of like I anticipated with Colorado here. Not that the Stars are bad by any means, but it's just like sometimes that their stars, no pun intended, don't really show up, And obviously Colorado, a team, obviously not even having Landeskog. He's not going to be playing this series, I don't think, or at least the first game anyway. So he's due to come back. Obviously, the addition of Wedgwood for this year was ridiculous in terms of finding a goaltender. Trade deadline, they pick up Brock Nelson. I think he had an assist in this game. That's a guy who, I don't know, 36 years old.
This is a guy.
Again, Nelson, whatever he is, 35, 36, tail end of his career, playing his heart out for the Islanders, now has an opportunity to win the cup with Colorado. Like, he's going to be playing his absolute ass off in order to get this cup, dude. So, I think that's a huge addition for Colorado. And right now, yeah, they're up 1-0. And yes, any one of these series you could say goes the distance. You can say the Stars end up upsetting Colorado. It's only one game in, sure. But so far, everything's kind of gone, the way I've said it to go. A lot of people were a little upset with my Canadiens prediction, by the way, or I guess our Canadiens prediction for an upset out of any wild card team.
Well, the nostalgia of Ovechkin.
Yeah, no,
another one.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the battle of Toronto and Ottawa. Shit is.
But that was just the most likely upset. Like, I still think. The Capitals probably winning 5 games. Honestly.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
But people just
we had to. We were saying we had to
have
say
an upset,
something,
dude. But then there was some St. Louis fans who were upset. But it's like, dude, you know what? Not for nothing, dude. Like, St. Louis isn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like the 11-game win streak to end the season. Good for you. Binnington sucks. All right. And it's like, yes, Jordan Kyrou, Justin Thomas, good. Buchnevich, you guys are a gritty team. Shannon, you guys are physical. But to give the Jets a run for their money in 7 games, it's not going to happen, dude.
No.
You're not mixing in Detroit and Chicago and Seattle, and that's how you're winning your 11 games in a row. It's all Winnipeg, dude. It's not, people see the end, the push that the Blues had at the end of the season. And yes, I get it, dude. They were a wild card team, I think, in 2019 too, and they won the cup. But they had Tarasenko, okay? Right. They had O'Reilly, okay, who was nasty, dude. I think they had I forget the other dude who played for Boston, older dude. Doesn't really matter. They had a crazy team at the time, dude. So in any case, we'll see what happens. Some great games tonight, dude, including your Oilers out there on the ice late night against the Kings, I believe.
Yeah, I can't stay up for that.
Come on, man.
I know. Maybe like first period.
What about the Caps game? 7 p.m.
Yanks 6:10.
Multiple TVs?
Yeah. But you're not watching any of these games over the Mets game, right? If you only have one TV.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So but it will be like
I'm glad you get it though. That's all I need to know. You don't need to say anything else. No, I know. You like if you had another TV, cool.
No, there will be like on the side, the laptop will have hockey.
I guess I'm just like this with a lot of things. Like I'm very like all or nothing. So it's just the point that like, okay, watching one of these games, like I'm sure it would be entertaining, but at the same time, if I can't watch any of these games, Like, I'm not going to feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I feel like I would miss something.
But I think as the playoffs go on, I think it will be more interesting.
Yes.
But I just there you go, Ernie. There we go. Yankees over everyone. Love to hear it. And yeah, he's not watching any of these hockey games. And Michael Butka, better late than never, says, morning. Let's put us back tomorrow night. Fuck the Timberwolves. And then he also says, R.I.P. to Pope Francis. Thought he was fully recovered from his illness. So
I didn't realize he passed away.
Yeah, 88 years old. I must have happened late last night, I think.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah. So, long run though. No, I'm saying 88 years old. I mean, that's obviously, beating the average life expectancy, Tony, is what I was trying to say. Yes. Oh.
Yeah. Yes, dude. Yes.
Any non-chalk games tonight, or do you think it's all the favorites wipe the floor again here?
Let's see. I'm not sure actually what the numbers are.
I mean, the
here.
Capitals are favored, the Jets are favored, the Avalanche are favored, and the Kings are favored.
Well, obviously, the Kings are definitely going to win. I would say the Avs win. Yeah, I'd say go chalk all
and
night,
I would
honestly.
say I would agree, except, of course, as you know, I say the Oilers will win, and it's not going to be easy. I mean, the Kings 31-6, 6-4, 31-6-4 at home during the regular season. But I think Oilers better team, winning 5.
I really think that the Oilers. I don't know why they didn't try and play jockey for home ice.
They'll be fine.
No, I think that'll bite them in the ass,
fine.
dude. But they're not gonna be fine, dude. Well, I mean, it's not over yet.
All right, so
but still, what the fuck is that? Like, just like the biggest overlook. You like guys in the fucking locker room not thinking, whoa, like the Kings are killing it at home. Maybe we should try to have the first 2 games in Edmonton.
I think they think they're decisively better, and that's fair.
Well, that's very cocky and arrogant, don't you think?
Might be true though. No,
I mean, it could be true.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. You're comfortably with these 2 teams, these 2 records, these 2 rosters, and it's not like, I mean, you're still road dogs. It's not like you're favored on the road or anything. You're that good. You're not.
But you are. And you will win. So that's a lock of the night.
Who will win? Edmonton will win.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Fine.
But yeah. So I don't know. We'll see if it grows in me. But right now, I just kind of want to watch the Yankees.
Oh,
we'll see what happens with the NHL playoffs. 88 is a very long life. I feel like no one lives long these days. I mean, they definitely do. I think Rachel Robinson, widow of Jackie, is 102 years old, Michael. Still kicking.
That's pretty
they just
wild.
mentioned that on Jackie Robinson Day.
I think Manny has relatives that are like 103 and
That's
shit,
insane.
dude. Like, which is ridiculous, dude.
Absolutely insane.
Like, oh my God.
So, really other than that, the monogamy, the NBA, I think the Nuggets-Clippers game was pretty good. That was on a colony. We were watching the Yankees. Nuggets ended up taking that one in overtime. But the Knicks game, I think, was pretty good as well because, going into the fourth quarter, they were down by 8, and they ended up winning this game by 11. So, that was big. As they take a 1-0 lead over the Pistons. Josh B mentioning the game is on tonight. So they'll look to go up 2-0. They're 6.5 point favorites tonight against the Pistons. And then there is game 2 of that Clippers Nuggets game following that. So a doubleheader on TNT. Their last, as you would say, Tony, soiree into the NBA playoffs next year. Amazon taking over NBC. But did you see any of the Knicks game on Saturday?
Not really.
No. So, I mean, now see, this is where you have even though I feel the same way, but I'm saying how I'm talking about the NHL playoffs right now is.
Well, again, I'd rather watch the hockey playoffs. That's what I was doing.
Right. But yeah, I don't know, but I think it would be a cool story. If the Knicks, did make a run. You don't think it would be cool for New York, honestly? NBA Finals in New York. I mean, first time in 30 years. I mean, it's kind of big, no?
Yeah, I guess so.
The Garden.
Doesn't
there's something.
me.
Yeah, but the Garden though.
I'm not even going to be there. It's not like I'm going to go there the next night for a Rangers game. It's going to be sick.
Well, that's the Rangers' fault,
It is.
But yeah, I hope the Knicks do it. Honestly,
like last year was sick when they were going like every other day having a playoff game at the Garden.
I mean, people born these days, the old people are living long. I mean, yeah, because if they're
older,
overdosing on heroin, Michael, yeah, that's why they're not living long. And then he says, "Who wants to Butka here for a good time, not a long one?"
He's saying who wants to live long?
Yes.
Who wants to, Buckton?
But I think there's an extent to that, Ernie. I think we all kind of, I don't know. It seems like 80 is that number that everyone's striving for.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
80 doesn't seem like long enough, to be honest.
Well, I'm saying the bare minimum.
Yeah, I guess
Because it seems like when you ever see someone like it's short of that, then it seems like it's like short change.
Too soon. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think the Knicks win. I think by 8 tonight. So I think they'll cover tonight. And then I think, a lot of hype with the Clippers going into this postseason, Kawhi healthy. I think they'll bounce back and even that series. Those are the two games there. But like we said, I mean, it's just we're gonna be dialed in on the baseball. That's just how it is. And I ask you the same questions every week, Tony. But class today?
No, they have Easter Monday off. I typically would.
Gotcha.
But they have Easter Monday off, which
back in the saddle Tuesday.
Tomorrow, yeah,
so
back in the saddle Tuesday.
Tonight, everyone's gonna be hungover.
Wait, they're gonna get hammered?
Yeah,
I mean, probably. Yeah, exactly. Because I would have still come back like Sunday night or even early Monday, still, and just start drinking immediately.
Yeah,
especially a day like today.
Yeah,
early baseball, hockey later. Come on, dude. So you expect the Knicks to beat the Pistons in this series?
Yeah, I think they'll win in 5. Yeah, definitely.
And then get like shellacked?
No. But I could see them maybe like, playing Boston, like losing in 6 or 7, probably. But I think they also could win. So I don't think you could rule that out either. I think, it's like the Dodgers thing, Commissioner's Trophy.
Yeah, sure. Tibbs still the coach next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless they get swept by the Celtics. Maybe not. But that would be the only thing. And then really, other than that, Michael Butka, please know I had no late contact with Ernie these past 3 days. Ernie, how's the wife? I mean, obviously she's doing well because Ernie's all hers.
Yeah, I guess so, dude.
She's not competing with you, Michael.
Unless Michael was maybe getting some of that contact with Ernie's wife now. One side of the bed to the other.
And I saw this earlier. Cooper Flack confirming he's entering the NBA draft. I don't know why there was any thought that he wouldn't be entering the NBA draft.
Right.
That was that news did just come out. So yeah. And he says alive, Butka, alive, LOL. But I think this is kind of like a good starting point. But a stopping point. By the way, though,
a good starting point.
Just a little update from Boston. Hug won the Boston Marathon title, but it's also 1-1 at Fenway Park right now.
Really?
Rob Refsnyder, who we did use, I think, when you weren't here on Friday for a grid.
Nice.
He homered, and then Cuero ground out the second, scoring Matone. So it's a 1-1 game.
Hammer that over.
So we'll see if the White Sox can take 2 out of 3, or it would be 3 out of 4. Would it be 3 out of 4?
Yeah, 3 out of 4. No. This set would be 2 out of 2.
No, it would be 3 out of 4 because they won 2 so far. So if the White Sox win, they would have won 3 out of 4 for this series. It's a 4-game set, wraparound.
Right. I thought the Red Sox won 2 out of 3 so far.
No, the Red Sox won 2 out of 3 when they played the last series.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, White Sox will win 30 games anyway.
Yeah, but you just don't want to see the Red Sox win.
Yeah, fuck the Red Sox. Enough of that. Riley, okay? What happened in fantasy, Riley, huh? Guess you weren't checking.
Was he actually not?
No, it looked like he actually was. I know you had suggested that, but I think he was. Anyway.
Well, again, the week I had him, he was in Vegas, so it definitely.
That's what happened. And they forgot. I don't know how you forget, though. I don't know. Baseball's on every day. It's like instantaneously.
Literally.
Lineups.
Especially like in the morning, I open my phone, Twitter, baseball. I'm like, let me take my lineup now.
Done.
Done.
But yeah, so I'd say a great. What do we got on the way out here? F Boston. Ernie knows.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, a great show today. Really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives, YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay and Costume, the merch at DowntimeTV.com. Everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you.
Let's go, Mets!
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.